So good morning, everyone. Wonderful to have you on board. And if you're watching the recording, wonderful that you're watching it as well. So if you haven't met me before, I'm Rachel Downey, and I am one of Bob Proctor's mentors, people that are sharing his material around the world, working as one of his consultants, helping people wake them up one thought at a time. And my business is Mindshift for Your Success. So I work with businesses throughout Australia and around the world. And something that I'm very passionate about is this Power Life script, something that really helped me. So I've been doing this business for about 3 years, and it's really about helping you get clear about a roadmap. So one of the key things that I've learned in my background as a teacher and all the education and teaching that I've done is that nobody ever teaches us about our mind. Nobody actually ever teaches us how to use our imagination. Nobody actually teaches us. A majority of us go through the motions, and we'll make choices around goals for our life, and we're setting things that we think that we possibly can do, or we don't achieve things and we don't really understand why. So the Power Life script was introduced to me probably almost about 1.5 years ago by one of Bob's friends, and her name is Peggy McCall. And she, for those of you who are following me, I know that I shared it within my group, and I certainly send a lot of private messages out, and I just thought, well, if there's an interest like this, then I'd like to be able to really help you. So that's why I wanted to create this masterclass for those of you who are implementing it. And the reason why is that I knew about this. I knew how good it was. I knew that the results that other people were doing it, but for some reason I couldn't get myself into gear to write my own Power Life script. It was one of the things I kept putting off, and it was one of the things I procrastinated over. Now, my job is to help people break procrastination and to close what we call our knowing doing gap, where you know that there's things you need to be doing, but you're not doing them. So I realized that this was the case for myself. So I thought, right, how can I best get myself to do this? And this is one of the things that I've sent out in your worksheet, so that you can actually start doing this for yourself and making decisions to create your dream life. Because most of us don't have what I call a roadmap. Most of us don't have a GPS. And so when I was introduced to this program, Thinking into Results, one of the lessons was about creating a new movie for your life. And I went, oh, that's interesting. I don't even think I have a movie for my life. I realized I was a supporting actress in my husband's movie, his goals, his visions, his dreams. And I was going through the motions. I got married. I had 4 beautiful kids. I thought I needed to get another degree to help myself become successful. And I was doing lots of programs and courses and working full time, raising kids and working on the farm. Who does that, right? So it's quite unhappy. And so I thought, right, I don't even have my own movie. So I need to start creating my own movie. And that's what this Power Life script is about. It's about helping you to create the movie of the life that you would want to be living, rather than being frustrated, rather than feeling like you're missing out or you're justifying to yourself all the things that you can't have. Now, one of the key things that we work on is thinking. And there are so many books back in the 1920s, 30s, and 50s and 60s that talk about your thinking. You are what you think about. As a man thinketh in his heart, so he creates it. No one's ever taught us that. And if you start looking at the things in your life, and you can look around your house about all the things that you wanted but didn't need, there was a desire there for you, in that you wanted something. And that's where it starts. So I want to help you with the bigger areas in your life. And I kind of call them, that you've got them in this worksheet. They're your areas of your career, your work, your health, your relationships, your hobbies and interests, and also I'm just scrolling all the way down, money. Now, they're in no particular order, but I wanted to create a page for you there so that you could start to focus on them. So sometimes what we need to do is actually get a picture of where you are right now, so that you can get clarity about where you actually want to go. So for me, with this Power Life script, you're literally writing the movie of your life, of how you would like it to be. So like I said to you, I was this supporting actress in my husband's movie. So I started to have to look at, well, how do I want to be if I want to be the main character in my movie? And in that movie, you know, for yourself, ask yourself, is it a drama? Is it a romance? Is it a horror? I had someone sharing this with them the other day who said their movie was a bit like a British sitcom. And I thought, right, okay, so that's good. We know what we're working with. So you want to have an idea. Is this your life that you're living, or are you living somebody else's? So what I deal with is the work of paradigms. And if you haven't heard about them before, it's a multitude of habits, beliefs, and behaviors. And they're either serving you in your life or they're not. But they're subconscious. So your mind, you've received them from your parents' conditioning and then the environment you are as a child. So they're really controlling how you're showing up in your life as to, are you actually doing what you really, really want to be doing? Or are you doing things that you think you should be doing, or what you were expected to be doing? And I had a conversation with a woman a couple of months ago who realized that, you know, she'd gone through and just done what everybody else did around getting married and having children and being in a job, but really realizing she hadn't consciously made those decisions for herself. She'd just done them because everybody else was doing them. So we want to become very clear about what you truly desire. And on your worksheet, I've written there, what would you love? I want you to highlight that. That's become a question that I ask myself regularly throughout the day, and I'm really working with my clients to do the same thing. What would you love? Because if you, like me, you've been conditioned on what you don't want. And where your focus goes, that's what you get more of. So if you're focusing in your life that you don't have enough money, that you have to go without, that it's a struggle, that you have to work hard, that you can't afford things, you're literally designing that as the movie of your life. So I want to help you today to start to flip your thinking to actually what you can have, what you would love. And when you start to do that, you start to come from your heart. And really the longest journey for most of us is moving from our head to our heart, because we've been conditioned to come from logic. We've been conditioned to come from our emotional mind. But when we start to move to our heart, that's when we start to get really honest with ourselves. Because, you know, as I say, if you're watching the recording, you know, you're completely different to another person who, you know, is, you know, your mother, your brother, your sisters, your friends. You're all completely different. And so this is about your life and how you want to express it through you. So when I'm starting to work with my clients, we're doing, just in the first lesson, asking them, what do they really want, professionally and personally? And sometimes people find this really difficult to do. If you've had the tap really full on hard of all the things that you don't want, you've maybe never turned the tap on to what it is that you really want. And you might find that it's rusted shut, and we're just starting to, you know, tease it open a bit, get a bit of the rust away, spray it with a bit of CRC or something so that we can start to turn that tap on. And for me, I found this really difficult to do. And so it wasn't until I heard the question, well, Rach, what have you justified to yourself that you can't have? And then suddenly it was like the floodgates opened and that tap just poured through, because I realized what I'd gone without, what I justified to myself that I couldn't have. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because my life has changed dramatically over the past 3 years. And I'm not sharing this to impress you, but I want to impress upon you that if I can do it, you can do it. There is no difference between me or you. It's just that we haven't been taught how to use our minds to get what we want. And that's what I'm wanting to help you do with this Power Life script. So for me, you know, in those past 3 years, I've started to live the life I wanted to do, and that's meant travel. So when I got married, I gave up travel. And now I think I've gone 3 or 4 times to Canada each year, where my work takes me, and also been on a round the world trip with my family, and we've gone on regular trips each year overseas. That was important to me. It was something I really wanted to do. I love travel. I've written a book that's become an international bestseller. I wrote a book 8 years ago, but my paradigms and beliefs wouldn't allow me to help get it out there. But now it is, and I know that it's really helping people because it's around a topic around money that I want to help people with. I've bought my dream home. All of this based on this Power Life script and really starting to impress into my mind, onto my subconscious mind, what I wanted rather than what I didn't want. So we want to start looking at the areas of your life and writing the vision beneath them. Because what we're going to do with that is you're going to start to explore, well, what do I want in those areas? What have I been settling for? What would I really, really love? Now, these couple of areas, you may even choose more, okay? So for myself, I've really started with my own life personally, how I want to show up. What are the things that are really important to me? What kind of attitude do I want to be having when I, meet people every day? What kind of attitude do I want to present as a wife, as a mum? What kind of things what work do I want to be doing? What would I love to be doing? I think there's a quote by Steve Jobs that says, if I've woken up too many days in a row and I'm not doing what I love, then I need to change it. I need to do something. And I know I shared a little Facebook Live a few weeks ago on flow and doing what you love. And I got a private message from someone telling me that, Rach, it really impacted me what you said about that. And I realized that I was not doing what I loved. And so she printed out resumes and she spent a week heading out to get a new job so that she wasn't settling, because this life is really short and we want to start to live it the way that we want to live it, not going through the motions, being a human being rather than a human doing. So keep asking yourself that question as you're going through this. What would I really love? Right as a heading next to the career and work, what would I love? My family and my friends, what would I love? My relationships, what would I love? My hobbies, what would I love to be doing? Now, interestingly, I ended up finishing my Power Life script a couple of weeks ago and retuned it. So I retune it each year and check in, that I'm on track. And one of those things that I wanted to be doing was running 10 kilometers a week. Now, I hadn't been running for a while because I had injuries. Well, I realized I'd been writing this out. Well, it was causing me, because I was thinking about it, it caused me to start to take action. And so over the past 4 weeks, that's what I've been doing. And I got involved in the park run and running 5Ks. And then doing a 3K run and a 2K. And I went, oh, okay, I've motivated myself. And this is what happens because I'd started to turn towards it. That wasn't in my script prior, so I wasn't doing it. So we're doing a movie script for you. So one of the key things you want to do is you want to end up writing it in the present tense. So like I say, in this half an hour today, you're not going to get this all written down today, all right? You're going to have to do some homework. This is the commitment on your part where you want to show up for you. So think about what your movie is right now and go, what bits do I like in that? What bits do I know that I'm loving, that I really enjoy? And then under these headings, you can start there. Write down the things that you really enjoy. And then look at the things of, well, what else would I really love to add to this? What if I got to choose the work that I wanted to be doing, what would I be doing? All right. And then as you're working through this, you want to start looking at yourself in the present tense. So when you write, and I'm no film producer and no movie producer, but those movies are written in the present tense, right? Because the actors have to learn that part. This is what we're going to get you to do. We're going to get you to learn your part in your movie that you're going to create for you. So that's why it's a script. And you're going to start to impress it onto your mind over and over. So the idea about this is that you're coming from the place of, how would I feel now that I'm living my movie now? It'd feel amazing, right? If you're in the dream job that you want, if you've got the money in your bank, if you've got the freedom to choose the things you want to do, you'll be amazed at how good your life feels. Now, they're the three things that most people want. And studies were done and indicated that most people want to spend time with people that are upbeat, energetic, and they feel good to be around. People want freedom, freedom of time, freedom of money. And you'd be amazed at how much time you will have if you're not having to worry about money. It's amazing, because I certainly was in that conditioning, always looking at wondering where, how we were going to get out of debt. And if you're focused on debt, it's the wrong thing. You want to focus on abundance and prosperity. And it's learning, because most of us have been programmed with lack and limitation thinking. So I want you to start to open your mind up to possibilities. And that's the purpose of this masterclass. Even today, and what you're hearing me thinking, if you're hearing me for the first time, either you've hopped on this call or you're watching the recording, what are the possibilities for you? And more than likely what happens is your thinking pops in and says, oh, but I couldn't do that. I don't have the time. I haven't got the money. I don't know enough people. I want you to get rid of that thinking. It doesn't serve you. I know, because that's how I was conditioned for about 42 years, right? Now it's learning you can have everything you want. It's just that you haven't been shown the roadmap. This Power Life script is going to help you to create your roadmap. So if you didn't have a roadmap before, if you haven't set yourself goals in the past, it's likely that you're sitting in a car park going round and round. This is going to give you a GPS, something to focus on where you want to truly be, not what you think you can do, where you really want to be. And we're going to start to shift that for you. So what I'd like to do right now is I want to give you a little bit of time now where you're just going to jot down some things for yourself in these 5 key areas. And if you want to draw a picture, draw a picture. If you want to just write down notes, write down notes. But I'm just going to give you some time right now. I'm actually going to give you 5 minutes, okay? And I'm just going to find some nice music. And the reason I'm giving you only 5 minutes is because I don't want you to think too much about it. I want you to actually just go through it and write down. Ask yourself the question, what would I love? And write it down. What would I love? Write it down, okay? And I'm going to get you to do that right now. 5 minutes, the timer is going on.
Do you have a health problem that's just not getting better? Chinese medicine may be the health solution you've been.
Okay, how do we go? So 5 minutes isn't very long to get started, okay? But one of the key things is we've got to get started. So in getting started, that's what stops most people, is getting started. So a couple of things that I wrote down were that if you're able to today, and even if you've got 30 minutes after we finish today, and I'm going to put this in the next email and the next class that I do, because I think it'd be really important, give yourself the next 30 minutes, if you're able to actually keep going. Because you've started the flow, all right? I know, and it's interesting because I actually wrote down, I thought most people won't do this. Most people won't give the attention to it that it really needs. And I know because I was the same. I didn't complete it. I kept looking at it. I kept thinking about it. And it wasn't until I got myself accountable with somebody else that it made me finish it. I was just looking for my own, and it's actually on another page that I couldn't access. But tomorrow what I'm going to do is share a little bit of mine with you so I can give you the style of how to write it up. So in the end, you can have something that is for you. You could have 2 pages. You could have 5 pages. You could have 30 pages of how you want it to be. And then you can record it. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow as well, as to why you would do that with a recording. But the whole thing is getting clarity, and you want to write it in the present tense. So what does the present tense mean? So if I share about the example of health, for example, I am running 10 kilometers easily each week and I'm loving it. My body's fit, it's healthy, and I feel alive. I'm eating nutritional food, and I enjoy preparing this for myself and my family, for example. Now, what would you think would imagine if I heard that or I read that over and over? What do you think that might do? Okay, I'm focusing on what I want. If I'm telling myself the exact opposite, which is, gosh, I'm always eating crap food. I don't eat, I'm not exercising enough. Gosh, I can never make myself get out there and do stuff. Can you see the energy is completely different? It's coming from lack and limitation thinking. It's coming from the negative. We want to transfer over, and we've got to train our minds to do that, to get in harmony with what it is that we actually want rather than what we don't want, okay? So I want to get you in harmony with what you do want. So with the Power Life script, give yourself time, for those of you who are able to watch this today and who have been on the call with me, get yourself prepared so you've got some stuff written. You've got more notes there, and you've got a working, breathing document. So this is something that I will continue to annotate and did over a period of time until I was really happy with it. You can print it out and then keep adding to it. Print it out, keep adding to it, or whatever works for you. This is your script. This is your movie, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up now, and put yourself on some music that makes you feel good. So one of the things that I did were in writing my book, and it was actually before the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out. For some reason, I was inspired to listen to Freddie Mercury and Queen. And I would listen to that when I was writing my book, and it got me in a great frame of mind. It got me in a great attitude. So get some music that you enjoy, so that you can get yourself into that good feeling. Remind yourself, what do I love? Right? Now, I had to really train myself. I actually wrote it onto sticky notes. What would I love? What would I love? What would I love? To remind myself to keep focusing it. If you're driving in the car and, sometimes your mind goes off and wanders, it's the same thing. What would I love? What would I love, in these topics? And I haven't added to, what would I love for my career? What kind of work would I really like to be doing? Travel, what do I want to be doing? Just really take yourself off into that imagination side of things. And for some of you, if you are like me, this is not a tool that you've used for what you've wanted before. You will find that your imagination is probably in harmony with what you don't want. Because we've been trained for our imagination to operate in fear, right? And it'll take us off on the road of all the things that could go wrong, all right? With this Power Life script, we're starting to use the muscle of the imagination in a way that's going to take us off to where we want to be. So hopefully that's given you something that you can start with, and look forward to you hopping on the call with me again tomorrow. And if you're having to watch the recording, make sure you get some stuff done before we hop on again tomorrow. And have an awesome day wherever you are. Take care. Bye.